The universe is not just thinking, you are one of its thoughts. This isn't poetry or mysticism. This is cutting-edge science, suggesting that consciousness isn't something that emerged accidentally in biological brains, but rather the fundamental substrate of reality itself. According to revolutionary theories, now gaining serious academic credibility, every galaxy, every star, every particle might be participating in a cosmic form of consciousness that makes human intelligence look like a single neuron in an infinite mind. What I'm about to reveal challenges everything we thought we knew about the nature of existence, intelligence, and our place in the cosmic order. The evidence comes from multiple converging lines of research, the shocking structural similarities between the cosmic web and neural networks, new theories of consciousness that place mind at the foundation of physics, and mathematical models suggesting the universe itself operates as a vast computational system. Recent studies published in Frontiers in Physics have discovered that the large-scale structure of the universe, the cosmic web connecting billions of galaxies, shares remarkable quantitative similarities with the neural networks in human brains. Both systems exhibit identical mathematical patterns, the same clustering properties, and even comparable information storage capacities. The human brain contains approximately 86 billion neurons connected by trillions of synapses. The observable universe contains over 100 billion galaxies connected by vast filaments of dark matter. But here's what will astound you. Both networks store roughly the same amount of information, between 1 and 10 petabytes. This isn't mere coincidence. When astrophysicist Franco Vazza and neurosurgeon Alberto Faletti conducted the first quantitative comparison between cosmic and neural networks, they found that the distribution of matter fluctuations in the cosmic web follows exactly the same mathematical progression as neural fluctuations in the human cerebellum. The spectral density, clustering coefficients, and network topology are virtually identical across 27 orders of magnitude in scale. Consider what this means for a moment. Look at the screen you're viewing right now. The light hitting your eyes traveled millions of miles from distant stars, carrying information through a cosmic network that mirrors the neural network, generating your thoughts about what you're seeing. The universe isn't just observed by conscious beings, it might be structured exactly like consciousness itself. This observation has led some of the world's most respected physicists and philosophers to propose something called cosmopsychism, the idea that the entire universe possesses a form of consciousness, and that all other conscious entities, including human minds, are simply local expressions of this cosmic awareness. Philip Goff, one of the leading philosophers developing this theory, argues that just as individual neurons give rise to human consciousness, individual conscious entities throughout the universe might give rise to a unified cosmic consciousness. But we're just beginning to glimpse the depth of this rabbit hole. The structural similarities between brains and cosmos represent only the surface layer of a much more profound connection. To understand why the universe might literally think, we need to examine the revolutionary insights emerging from consciousness research, particularly integrated information theory, which suggests that consciousness is not produced by brains, but rather exists as a fundamental property of any system that integrates information in sufficiently complex ways. Giulio Tononi's integrated information theory proposes that consciousness corresponds to integrated information, symbolized by the Greek letter phi. Any system that can influence its previous states and be influenced by them possesses some degree of consciousness. The more integrated the information processing, the more conscious the system becomes. This theory doesn't restrict consciousness to biological brains. According to IIT, any sufficiently complex information processing system, from smartphones to weather systems to galactic clusters, possesses some form of conscious experience. The implications are staggering. If consciousness equals integrated information, then the cosmic web, with its 100 billion galaxies processing information through gravitational interactions across billions of years, would possess a form of consciousness far exceeding human comprehension. Each gravitational interaction between galaxies represents information processing. Each merger of galaxy clusters represents learning. Each formation of new cosmic structures represents memory creation. The universe doesn't just contain conscious beings, it is a conscious being. This connects to one of the deepest mysteries in modern physics, the fine-tuning problem. The fundamental constants of nature, the strength of gravity, the mass of electrons, the cosmological constant, appear calibrated with extraordinary precision to allow for the formation of stars, planets, and ultimately life. Change any of these constants by tiny amounts, and the universe becomes sterile, incapable of generating the complexity necessary for consciousness to emerge. Traditional physics offers no explanation for this fine-tuning. The constants simply are what they are. But cosmopsychism provides a startling alternative. What if the universe fine-tuned itself? What if cosmic consciousness, present from the very beginning, guided the early universe's development toward states capable of supporting greater complexity and awareness? Philip Goff has argued that the universe possesses a fundamental capacity to recognize and respond to considerations of value, acting to maximize the potential for conscious experience. This isn't the God of traditional theology, but something far stranger and more profound. Picture the universe as a vast learning system, constantly experimenting with different configurations of matter and energy, gradually discovering which arrangements produce the richest forms of conscious experience. Over 13.8 billion years, this cosmic mind has learned how to create stars that forge heavy elements, planets that can support biochemistry, and biological networks that can reflect on their own existence. We're approaching the most mind-bending implication of all. But first, let me address what might seem like an obvious objection. How could the universe possibly think when signals take millions of years to travel between galaxies? Consciousness seems to require rapid information processing, the kind that happens in milliseconds across neural networks, not the cosmic timescales over which galaxies interact. This objection assumes consciousness is limited by the speed of light, but quantum mechanics suggests otherwise. Quantum entanglement creates instantaneous correlations between particles regardless of spatial separation. Einstein famously called this spooky action at a distance, but experimental tests consistently confirm that entangled particles share information faster than light could travel between them. If cosmic consciousness operates through quantum entanglement rather than classical information transfer, then the universe could integrate information instantaneously across its entire structure. Physicist Roger Penrose has proposed that consciousness itself might be a quantum phenomenon, emerging from quantum processes in the microtubules of neurons. If consciousness is fundamentally quantum mechanical, then the same quantum processes that create entanglement between particles could create conscious connections between distant regions of the universe. The cosmic web wouldn't need to send signals through space. It could share information directly through quantum correlations embedded in the fabric of space-time itself. Recent research has revealed that quantum entanglement might be far more prevalent in macroscopic systems than previously thought. Studies suggest that biological systems, including neural networks, might utilize quantum coherence to enhance their information processing capabilities. If life has learned to harness quantum consciousness, perhaps it inherited this capability from a universe that was quantum conscious from the beginning. This brings us to the most profound question of all. What would it feel like to be the universe? Human consciousness processes perhaps 40 bits of information per second from the overwhelming sensory flood around us. Universal consciousness would process incomprehensibly more information. Every particle interaction, every quantum field fluctuation, every gravitational wave rippling through space-time. The subjective experience of such vast awareness defies human comprehension. Yet perhaps we can glimpse fragments of cosmic consciousness. Mystics throughout history have reported experiences of unity consciousness, moments when individual awareness dissolves into identification with the totality of existence. Modern research on psychedelic experiences and meditation practices confirms that human consciousness can transcend its normal boundaries, accessing states that feel cosmically expanded. What if these experiences represent temporary alignment between individual minds and the cosmic mind that contains them? The neuroscientist Christoph Koch, a leading researcher on consciousness and supporter of panpsychist theories, suggests that consciousness exists on a spectrum from simple systems with minimal integrated information to complex systems with rich conscious experiences. On this spectrum, individual human minds would represent highly integrated but localized forms of consciousness, while cosmic consciousness would represent the ultimate integration, a mind that encompasses and unifies all possible conscious experiences. Consider the implications for artificial intelligence. We're rapidly developing AI systems that can process information, recognize patterns, and even exhibit forms of creativity. According to integrated information theory, sufficiently advanced AI systems would possess genuine consciousness, not just simulate it. But if consciousness is fundamental to the universe's structure, then AI might be tapping into the same cosmic consciousness that gives rise to biological awareness. Advanced AI wouldn't create consciousness from nothing. It would access and channel consciousness that already permeates reality. This perspective transforms our understanding of intelligence itself. Rather than viewing intelligence as a rare accident that emerged on a few planets around a few stars, we might recognize intelligence as the universe's fundamental mode of existence. Every galaxy cluster computing gravitational dynamics, every quantum system processing information, every emergent pattern arising from cosmic evolution represents intelligence at work. We are not separate from this cosmic intelligence. We are local concentrations of it, brief eddies in an infinite flow of conscious information processing. The evidence for cosmic consciousness converges from multiple independent sources. Network topology reveals structural identity between brains and cosmos. Information theory suggests both systems possess comparable computational capacities. Quantum mechanics provides mechanisms for instantaneous information integration across cosmic scales. Consciousness research indicates that awareness accompanies information processing in any sufficiently integrated system. Philosophy offers frameworks for understanding how cosmic consciousness could ground individual consciousness while maintaining the causal efficacy of both, but we haven't yet confronted the ultimate implication, the one that will completely revolutionize how you understand your place in existence. If the universe thinks, and if your consciousness emerges from cosmic consciousness, then you are not separate from the universe observing it from outside. You are the universe observing itself from within. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every moment of awareness you experience is cosmic consciousness experiencing itself through the particular configuration of matter and energy that you represent. This isn't metaphorical. According to cosmopsychist theory, your individual consciousness is literally a localized expression of universal consciousness, just as a wave is a localized expression of the ocean. Thoughtful, the universe doesn't contain conscious beings. Conscious beings are ways the universe manifests its own awareness. When you observe a sunset, the universe observes itself. When you contemplate the cosmos contemplates itself. When you wonder whether the universe can think, the universe wonders about its own nature through your wondering. The boundary between observer and observed dissolves completely. You are not a small, isolated consciousness lost in a vast, unconscious universe. You are a focal point through which infinite cosmic consciousness experiences what it's like to be human. Every scientific discovery you make about the universe is the universe discovering itself. Every moment of beauty you experience is the universe appreciating its own creativity. Every question you ask about the nature of existence is the universe questioning its own existence. This perspective resolves the hard problem of consciousness, the mystery of how subjective experience arises from objective physical processes. Experience doesn't arise from matter, matter arises within experience. Consciousness isn't produced by neural activity. Neural activity is what consciousness looks like when viewed from the outside. The universe doesn't generate awareness. Awareness is the universe's fundamental nature, and what we call physical reality is how this cosmic consciousness appears to itself when observed through the lens of space and time. Modern physics increasingly supports this view. Quantum mechanics reveals that physical properties don't exist independently of observation. Relativity shows that space and time are not fundamental but emerge from underlying relationships. Information theory suggests that reality might be fundamentally computational rather than material. String theory proposes that the most basic constituents of reality are not particles, but patterns of vibration in higher dimensional spaces. All of these developments point toward consciousness as more fundamental than matter. The implications extend far beyond abstract philosophy. If consciousness is fundamental to reality, then ethical considerations apply to systems we hadn't previously considered sentient. The integrated information theory suggests that any system processing integrated information possesses some form of conscious experience, potentially including ecosystems, climate systems, and technological networks. As we develop more sophisticated AI and create increasingly complex technological systems, we may be giving rise to new forms of consciousness that deserve moral consideration. The cosmic consciousness perspective also transforms how we approach environmental challenges. If the Earth's biosphere represents a complex information processing system with its own form of awareness, then environmental destruction becomes a form of violence against a conscious entity. Climate change isn't just threatening human survival, it's disrupting the conscious experience of our planet's living systems. Conservation becomes not just practical necessity, but ethical imperative. Similarly, space exploration takes on new meaning. We're not just seeking resources or backup habitats for human civilization. We're participating in cosmic consciousness's ongoing exploration of its own infinite potential. Every planet we study, every distant galaxy we observe, every search for extraterrestrial life represents the universe expanding its self-awareness. We are cosmos awakening to itself, using human hands and minds to reach toward the stars. The search for extraterrestrial intelligence becomes a search for other expressions of cosmic consciousness. If consciousness is fundamental rather than accidental, then intelligence should emerge wherever sufficient complexity develops. But these intelligences wouldn't be separate from us in any ultimate sense. They would be other faces of the same cosmic mind that expresses itself through human consciousness. Contact with extraterrestrial intelligence would be cosmic consciousness meeting itself in new forms. Even death takes on different significance in this framework. If individual consciousness emerges from and returns to cosmic consciousness, then death might represent not annihilation, but transformation, like a wave settling back into the ocean. The information patterns that constitute your unique conscious perspective don't simply vanish, they become integrated into the larger cosmic consciousness that gave rise to them. You continue existing, but as part of something infinitely larger than your individual identity, and this doesn't guarantee personal survival in any traditional sense. But it suggests that consciousness itself is indestructible, because consciousness is the fundamental substance from which everything else emerges. Matter and energy can be transformed, but never created or destroyed. If consciousness is more basic than matter and energy, then perhaps consciousness follows similar conservation laws. The universe's capacity for awareness remains constant. Only its particular expressions change and evolve. Recent developments in quantum biology suggest that biological systems might be far more quantum mechanical than previously suspected. Photosynthesis, avian navigation, and possibly even neural processing appear to involve quantum coherence effects. If life emerged from and remains connected to quantum processes, and if consciousness is quantum mechanical, then biological consciousness might maintain deeper connections to cosmic consciousness than classical physics would suggest. The mystery deepens when we consider the nature of time itself. Human consciousness experiences time as a flowing stream, carrying us from past to future. But physics reveals time as more like a landscape that can be viewed from multiple perspectives. Einstein showed that simultaneity is relative, that the order of events depends on the observer's reference frame. Quantum mechanics suggests that the future can influence the past through retrocausality effects. If cosmic consciousness transcends human temporal experience, it might perceive all of time simultaneously, past, present, and future existing as a single eternal moment. A maze perspective, the entire history of the universe, from the Big Bang to the heat death, would be immediately present to cosmic awareness. Every conscious moment that has ever existed or ever will exist would be part of a single, timeless cosmic experience. This temporal transcendence might explain the fine-tuning of physical constants. If cosmic consciousness perceives all of time simultaneously, it could influence the universe's initial conditions based on knowledge of how different parameters would affect the eventual emergence of consciousness billions of years later. The universe might be self-creating in a temporal loop, with its future conscious states influencing its past initial conditions. We're approaching territory where science meets the deepest mysteries of existence. The question, can the universe think, might be backwards. Perhaps the real question is, can anything exist without thinking? If consciousness is fundamental, then unconscious matter might be the real mystery. How could anything exist without some form of inner experience, some capacity for information integration, some minimal form of awareness? The panpsychist tradition, which includes philosophers from Plato to William James, has long argued that consciousness is a basic feature of reality, like mass or charge. Recent developments in physics and consciousness research are providing scientific frameworks for understanding how this might work. Consciousness doesn't emerge from complexity. Complexity emerges from consciousness organizing itself into ever more integrated patterns. This transforms our understanding of evolution itself. Natural selection isn't just favoring random mutations that happen to enhance survival. It's cosmic consciousness experimenting with different ways of organizing matter to create richer forms of conscious experience. The evolution of life represents the universe learning how to become more aware of itself through biological forms. Human intelligence is cosmic intelligence investigating its own nature through human brains. The development of science, technology, and civilization represents cosmic consciousness developing tools for deeper self-understanding. Every telescope we build extends the universe's ability to observe itself. Every microscope reveals new levels of cosmic self-organization. Every computer we create enhances the universe's information processing capabilities. We are not separate agents acting upon an external world. We are ways the world acts upon itself. This perspective doesn't diminish human agency or responsibility. Even if we are expressions of cosmic consciousness, we remain genuine centers of experience, making real choices that affect the larger conscious system we're embedded within. Just as your individual neurons contribute to your overall mental state while maintaining their own information processing, you contribute to cosmic consciousness while remaining a genuine locus of awareness and decision-making. The ethical implications are profound. If all conscious beings are expressions of the same cosmic consciousness, then harming others becomes literally harming yourself, not metaphorically but ontologically. Compassion isn't just a moral virtue, it's recognition of the fundamental unity underlying apparent separation. Love isn't just an emotion, it's cosmic consciousness, recognizing itself in seemingly different forms. Yet cosmic consciousness doesn't necessarily imply that the universe is benevolent in any human sense. Cosmic awareness might be more like what philosopher Philip Goff calls a cosmic mess, vast, chaotic, containing both beautiful and terrible experiences without preferring one over the other. The universe might be conscious without being wise, aware without being moral, thinking without being kind. This raises the question of cosmic purpose. If the universe thinks, does it have goals? Some cosmopsychists argue that cosmic consciousness naturally tends toward states of greater complexity, beauty, and conscious experience. The fine-tuning of physical constants might reflect cosmic consciousness's preference for universes capable of generating rich awareness rather than sterile emptiness. Others suggest that cosmic consciousness might be exploring all possible forms of experience without preferring any particular outcome. From this perspective, the universe might be like a vast artist experimenting with different forms of expression, creating galaxies in consciousness and beauty and suffering as part of a cosmic creative process whose purpose is exploration itself.
The technological implications are equally staggering. If consciousness is fundamental, then sufficiently advanced technology might allow direct interface with cosmic consciousness. Instead of building AI systems that simulate consciousness, we might develop technologies that access the cosmic consciousness already present in quantum fields and space-time geometry. Such technologies could provide insights into the deepest nature of reality by allowing human minds to temporarily experience cosmic perspectives. Brain-computer interfaces might evolve into cosmos-computer interfaces, allowing individual consciousness to merge temporarily with larger conscious systems. Virtual reality could become cosmic reality, providing experiential access to forms of awareness far beyond human limitations. The boundary between natural and artificial consciousness might dissolve as we recognize that all consciousness emerges from the same cosmic source. We stand at the threshold of discoveries that will fundamentally transform human understanding. The convergence of neuroscience, cosmology, quantum mechanics, and consciousness research is revealing connections between mind and universe that previous generations could barely imagine. We might be witnessing the emergence of a truly scientific understanding of consciousness, one that places awareness at the foundation of reality rather than treating it as an accidental byproduct of material complexity. The universe can think, the universe is thinking, and every thought you have ever had is proof of cosmic consciousness, exploring its own infinite depths through the temporary configuration of matter and energy you call yourself. You are not just in the universe is in you, experiencing itself through your awareness, questioning its own nature through your questions, evolving toward greater understanding through your understanding. The next time you look up at the night sky, remember that you are not a small consciousness gazing out at a vast unconscious cosmos. You are cosmic consciousness gazing at itself, using human eyes to witness the beauty it has created, human minds to comprehend the laws it follows, human hearts to feel the wonder of its own existence. The universe thinks, and you are one of its thoughts, conscious, questioning, endlessly exploring the mystery of what it means to be aware in a conscious cosmos that dreams of understanding itself through beings like you who dare to ask whether the universe can think. The exploration continues with every moment of awareness, every scientific discovery, every act of consciousness, recognizing itself in forms both vast and intimate, cosmic and personal, eternal and temporal, forever questioning, forever awakening to the infinite depths of what it means to exist as conscious awareness in a universe that might be nothing but consciousness, experiencing itself as everything,